Oh my gosh, you're here!
Welcome to My Chatbot Life, where chatbot marketers share high-converting strategies in this new conversational marketplace. Each week, MKJ introduces you to bot builders who are just like you, a little techie, a little markety, and a whole lot of geeky. Buckle up as Chatbot Mom enjoys another journey into My Chatbot Life.
Hey there, My Chatbot Lifers. MKJ here, and I can't wait to introduce you to Mike Williams. Now, Mike and I met several months ago now, and I was immediately impressed with his ability to be exposed to a subject and a topic and just dive right in and learn everything he could in a very short period of time. And basically, the way he did that, he shared with me that he was in corporate America for about 25 years, and his wife decided to buy a salon. And so he helped her in marketing and things like that and started saying, this is pretty cool. And then he left corporate America and started his own functional fitness gym. And when he did that, he and his wife, Tina, have 5 sons that are depending on them. So he really had to make it work. So when things got a little difficult or it was, confusing how to market, he turned to digital marketing in the digital marketing world. And that was it. It opened up the floodgates for him about learning about digital marketing. And through that, he not only helped his wife, Tina, make her salon successful, but he did the same with his gym and got more people in the door than any other of the techniques that they were trying. And through using these techniques and using these digital marketing tools, other gym owners were seeing what he was doing as he was making more friends with other gym owners, and they were going, dude, what are you doing? And so they hired him to help them with their digital marketing. And of course, chatbots became a huge part of that. So he has a lot of experience on how to market gyms with chatbots very effectively. Not just because he's a good digital marketer, because he owns one. And he had to figure it out. And he knows the clientele. He knows how bots work. He had to put the two together. And he does it very, very well. And he shares a lot of stories and a lot of information on this chat. And I can't wait to hear at the end. Hang on to the end, because you will be rewarded with some of his humor. Hence the title of this podcast episode. So I hope you enjoy this chat with Mike Williams, and I hope you are having a fantastic Chatbot Life. All right. Hello there. MKJ here. You know me, and you get to say hello to Mr. Mike Williams. Hello there.
How are you doing?
I am fan-stinking-tastic. I got to wake up today. How could the day be bad?
Exactly.
I'm here. I am here, and I get to talk to you. We've had a couple of conversations. I know I haven't known you for a long time, but when we've been able to chat, we've been able to knock out some pretty great things. So I really appreciate you joining me on the podcast.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to dive into it because everybody that we're talking to is in the chatbot space, and most of us are growing our own agencies. So start us off by describing what you did as your job, but immediately before you started actually doing Facebook Messenger or chatbots.
So I've owned a gym for a little over 5.5 years, and wow. And going into that, probably about a year or so in, was afraid I was going to close. And so I took over. I knew nothing about marketing. It could not have been more clueless. Didn't even know how to send an email, as far as an email blast. Dove in, learned all that, and what I learned from a marketing standpoint saved the gym. And so I had some business coaches there and met a bunch of other people that were going through the same thing. They were stuck, and there were just tons and tons of people that didn't get it or couldn't find the time to learn how to do the marketing, and they were asking me to do that. When you start talking with other marketers, and then you start talking about Facebook ads and things like that, because it's what worked for my business. And that was when, I want to say it was like early 2016 when I was introduced to bots. And so what was it, Message Hero or whatever one of the first ones was. But took a look at that, and it took a while for it to sink in and for me to really kind of grasp what they could do. And at the time when I first looked at them, they would misfire all the time, and it wasn't very consistent, and it wasn't reliable. But I got into it, and then just spending some time around and talking with other people like yourself, and all of a sudden realizing that, wow, this is potentially a real game changer. And if you can harness the power of that platform. And then I got into that, and just, I segued out. I had a bunch of other gym owners ask me to do their marketing, and I started more and more stepping away from the gym, and I started running ads for other people in the, the health coaching and the fitness space. And that's what led me down the trail of bots.
Isn't it amazing? And you, all because of your own need.
It's, yeah, I wasn't even on social media. Like, so 5-6 years ago, I wasn't even on social media.
I know. I was a Twitter gal. I was a total Twitter gal. I was not on Facebook and talking about my kids and, what I had for dinner and stuff like that. I was totally like, get in, say what I got to say, get out. And so, yeah, I get it. But still, it's about a need, right? You had a specific need that you had for your gym to keep the doors open. And you figured it out. And so few people, really, there are barriers. There are thresholds that people have. And when they face a challenge, there's a threshold and they don't know how to get past it, or they are too uncomfortable to try and get past it. I think you and I, because we had that hunger to, nope, this is not an option. Right?
Yeah.
And we just had to find a way. We had to figure it out. It was just no other option. I didn't have so here in California, the state jobs are pretty lucrative. Okay.
Right.
Full benefits, full retirement, almost 100% of what you were making when you were working, you get in retirement. So we always say that. I don't have a state job. Okay. I got to figure it out. What made you just dive in and figure it out?
It's a big part of it was that I had spent 26 years in corporate America prior to that. And even though I had a lot of success, was with 2 different companies, and got into middle management with both, but it wasn't, I knew I wanted to be self-employed, and I didn't want to go back to that.
Yeah.
And that's what drove me, is that I didn't want someone to tell me when I can eat lunch, what time I have to be here. And I don't do well with that. And I think my wife would tell you that I don't do well taking instruction, but, but I really didn't want to go back. And then there was an enormous pride factor too, in not wanting to fail. With not wanting to fail with an audience.
Yes.
That was a big one. And it really drove me to figuring it out. I don't know that I've ever worked that hard on something and struggled that much in the beginning without walking away from it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't easy, and it took a lot of figuring out. And I think, a lot of people would have quit going through that. And I've seen a lot of people quit going through that. And it wasn't because I was better. It was, but I had that driving me. I didn't want to fail.
Yeah. And I know you and I have talked back and forth via email about that too. I mean, that was my number one driver too. There was just no way.
Yeah.
But then I was able to kind of get past that and realize, I mean, that drove me to make it happen. But when you're on the other side of that and you realize, yes, you can do that, but you don't have to be so emotionally tied to the success. Yeah. And it makes a difference in your personal health, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You still have a drive to do well. And my drive is still there 100%. There is no way that I will fail. I have a piece, I think, that no matter what I do, even if let's say bots, all of a sudden Facebook just went, you know what? Just kidding. We're not doing this anymore. And they shut down Messenger and Messenger marketing. I know in my heart, I know that I will make success somewhere else. There's no doubt.
Mm-hmm. And I think part of it is that once you've learned that you can figure it out. And so you're not so concerned if this isn't forever, you'll figure out the next thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I was so tied to that first thing that it was like, that was my first experience in entrepreneurship. And I had no clue yet that there were other things that I could possibly do. It was like, this is my world. And this is all that's in my world. And I didn't make that leap yet that I had skills beyond just that business.
Right.
Yeah, and that took me longer than most of y'all are taking. I'm really glad that most everyone else is learning that faster, because I spent a good decade, good 10 years in that place of thinking that this is it, and I didn't really have a lot of other skills beyond that. So, wow. Okay, so I knew we were going to get dive into some not just surface stuff, but that really helps a lot of people to realize, okay, I can chill. It's going to work. And if it doesn't work, then let me tell you, AI is coming right up behind everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have skills to know how to create these conversations, don't worry. AI is coming up and you'll be able to create these conversations in a very dynamic way. Since you've been in business and since you had a gym, which is a physical location, and you're actually trying to help people grow their gyms in a digital space,
Mm-hmm.
um, what's been the biggest challenge business-wise, and mostly a mindset challenge business-wise that you've had to overcome, and how did you do that?
Um, there's no silver bullet, and there's something that could work phenomenally for you, and it won't work for me. And so you don't hitch everything to that wagon, I guess.
Yeah.
And that you have to expect that. I guess don't go into everything expecting that everything is going to work, and don't think that you always know everything. And so that's why we test. That's why we do so many things, so that when it does work, then hopefully you can capitalize on it and you can take away the pieces that are universal, but also don't. There's no given ad copy, or there's no this copy inside of a flow converted really well for me. It has to do really well for you, because it just doesn't.
Mm-mm.
And so knowing that, and then having, I guess, knowing there's no silver bullet, that I stayed adaptable and expected to have to change. Because that was probably one of the biggest shifts for me, because I remember clearly earlier in life, I really wish things wouldn't change, because I've got a grip on it right now. And how fast things change now compared to then, you'd be silly to expect that. Like I wouldn't even dream of that now, but I really, really wanted that when I was younger, so things to just stop changing. That's, it's not realistic. That has been a huge, now I want to be out in front of it. Like, I'm expecting things to change. I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised when things stay the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's still working? Wow. That's awesome. It's kind of, the way you look at it. Well, definitely you and I have something in common that I think have helped us do that, is when you have kids, you just kind of have to do that.
Yeah.
You have to adapt. They don't stay the same. They change very fast. And we typically can't anticipate the next thing that's going to happen if it's the first kid, because we don't know. We've never experienced it before, except
Right.
in our own lives. And we don't usually remember. And we weren't the parent at the time having to deal with the ramifications of something. Right? When you have the second one, it becomes a little easier, but still then they throw a wrench in the mix, because they are totally different than the other one. So they're going to react differently, do things differently. Yeah. So kids kind of help us do that. But when we were younger and we didn't have that, no, stay the same. I figured this out. Why can't I make money on this? And another thing too, typically when we are trying to create success and we have a very limited budget, so when we put money on something, it's almost our life depends on that working.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But now that we have a little more money to play with, we know not to spend the whole wad on one thing, right?
Right.
We know to spread it out a bit. We know to dabble at first and test, and then we're not so freaked out if it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Right? Because you've done that too, right? You blow a bunch of money on one thing going, oh my gosh, this has to work. And if it doesn't, now we've got huge debts. And how do we pay it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so glad I'm not in those days anymore. Because that is stressful. That is very, very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
What about with chatbots now? I know you said you've been dabbling in this stuff for a long time. What's one of the biggest mindset shifts you've had to make specifically in building chatbots? And how did you overcome it?
Um, just, I guess, how not everybody is, so locally, there were no other businesses that really knew anything about Facebook pixels. And when I originally started getting into running ads for other people, I thought at one point in time I would want to work with other businesses. And part of the reason that I enjoyed so much success because there's nobody around me that does it. And and so it's, everything's on an auction platform, and if there's nobody else playing, then it, keeps my price down. And when it came to bots, there are a lot of other people that they don't know about them. They're still relatively new, and they don't understand why they would need that. And so there's an education element to it as well. And that, I was just like stunned to learn that the top 4 messaging platforms have more monthly active users than the top 4 social media platforms. I'm in it, and that blew me out of the water when I learned that. Like it shocked me.
Yeah.
But letting people know that, or someone. So I actually got this one last week. Well, my customers don't like Messenger. I'm like, well, no, they don't like spam on Messenger. Just like they don't spam, like they don't raise their hand for more email either. But where the stat went from 2 billion messages between users and businesses to 20 billion monthly messages, and that's a giant leap. Really hard to say that people don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
But dealing with that shift but knowing that people are going to come back at you with those types of things.
Mm-hmm. And they're not in it every day like we are. So it's basically just part of our life.
Yeah.
Again,
but that was a big part of it. And I guess so when I look back over the last 4 years, because I want to say that my bot for the gym has been really active for probably the last year. Prior to that, like I was just dabbling, but I didn't know what I was doing. But one of the things that would happen, over the last, the 4 years prior, somebody would message the Facebook page, and at some random time down the road, but those notifications don't come through real timely. Mm-hmm. And so you might get your first inkling might be 4 hours later. Mm-hmm. But if you don't respond, and they never respond back, so whatever their question is, you'd answer it, and then they just ghost you.
Yeah, it's done.
Whether it was what was your price, where you look, whatever it would be, they never would respond back. Mm-hmm. And so you can ever convert any of those, it would be a miracle.
Right.
And then with a bot, it simply gives you have that opportunity.
Yep. And
then if somebody's running Facebook ads, the likelihood that someone's going to message your business, increases dramatically. If you're, whatever platform you're active on, that's where they're going to contact you. And so it only made sense, but and that's part of what made the light bulb go off for me, was just if I could increase the conversions on a given platform that I'm already on, that only makes sense.
And that your customers are on.
Right.
That. I mean, I've only met one person that I would agree when he said, my clients are not on Facebook. And I agree 100%. He is a guy who creates a newsletter or a news site for financial investing. And his clientele, his self-described avatar, is between the ages of 70 and dead. And they're not on Facebook. Right. So I agree. They're not. Everybody else, you're spouting bull. You just don't want to go there. So that's fine. Own up to it and go bye-bye until you finally come on to this gravy train when there's very little gravy left. Right? Yeah. Because that's what it is right now. And we know things are coming down the pike to change, and Facebook is starting to change things. We knew it was going to happen. We knew they were going to start monetizing the platform with the sponsored messaging and all of that. We knew that was going to happen. We knew it wasn't going to stay free forever. Right. So if you created your concept and your business and your messaging around that, with that knowledge, then you actually tried to nurture people rather than just spam them. Right. Yeah. And if you want to spam them, now you have to pay for it, or you will very soon. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So are you still having fun building chatbots?
Oh my God, I love it. I think it's really cool that you can see the metrics on the inside of it. And so you can actually see where you can improve, like what you did. And it's taking everything I ever learned. And honestly, like the platform does what a bunch of other things do, but all together in one. And it's a bigger picture piece. If you get the bigger picture, then you really can understand the power of the platform and what it can do. And I didn't get that at first, but when I did, that made the light bulb go off, and it's pretty wild what you can do with it. And it's just every day I'm learning something new. I'll come across something else, and then or a different way to do stuff that could that may improve the engagement or the response, any of that. But so I don't stop learning. And then wow, that was like 2005 when I heard the whole concept of lifelong learning. Like, ugh, who the hell want to do that? And
Yeah, because we think of school, right? We don't
yeah,
think of personal learning. Yeah.
yeah. But when you're done and you get past your 4-year degree or whatever you're going for, like the thought of reading another book or taking another, like, no,
No,
thank you.
exactly.
But I've spent more on, wow, I think I've spent more on my like personal development and education than I did on my 4-year degree.
Yeah, I definitely have, because I had a degree when it was a lot cheaper. So, yeah, I agree with you. And, I got to tell you what's exciting. Yeah, it's so much fun, because I know you and I have talked about chatbot copy quite a bit, but I went to one of my clients, and I know you know who I'm talking about, but this client who wanted me to take 100 of his emails and put them in the bot. And we went back and forth, and we finally did a split test with this one client, our shorter copy, the way it's supposed to be in a chatbot, and we took his copy that he wanted to write longer, and we compared the two. And conversions, there's a 42% increase in conversions with the copy, just the copy changing. Nothing else. Sales pages exactly the same. Everything else is, but specific comparison between longer copy in the bot and actual copy that's supposed to be there. I was blown away when I showed him this, and we just had our meeting this morning. That's why it's top of mind. 42% increase, and that's the only thing that's different is the copywriting. So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun to be able to show that client.
Yeah, but it's stunning but yeah, and you and I have talked about this at length, and I want to say over the last week, I've really gotten hammered by some other, big names in the industry.
Yes.
When you're scrolling 3 and 4 times to finish their one message, and I'm just going through it, I'm like, oh wow, this is one message. And and I love studying what other people do with bots. And so I'm really paying attention, and so I care about the strategy behind it, and I still didn't read that entire message. That's how long it was.
Exactly. Because we don't want to skim messages in Messenger. We want to skim emails. We want to interact. We want to engage with messages. Yeah. So that's what's so fun is now we're going version 2 kind of thing, or version 3, right? We're getting further along in this whole chatbot adventure, and other things are starting to pop up as really vital pieces in this journey to really make a difference with a chatbot and really market and convert with a chatbot. In the beginning, it was just have a bot and put it into link it to your sales page, and you're going to make money, just like email. But now it's getting much more nuanced, much more strategic. And yeah, I agree. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Because we get to learn and figure that out and actually speak to the client where they are. So yay. So, all right, I'm going to get down to the bottom of this thing and ask you a pretty detailed question. All right, you ready?
Sure.
Yeah, of course you are. All right, so imagine you are much later in life, and you're looking back on your life, and you have actually someone writing your autobiography, your memoir. What would the title of that book be?
That'd be Hustle with Humor.
Okay.
So I am a self-proclaimed jackass, I have worked really, really hard all my life. And I fully believe in, when you have an opportunity, you want to hustle after it. So it's instilled in me from my dad. So really, really good work ethic, but love to laugh, and I'm a jackass the entire way.
So there's where the humor comes in, because people have got to be on their toes as to whether you're really being serious or.
I can't, man. 30-minute stretches. That's about as far as I can be serious. It just doesn't work. No.
Yes. All right. And so who would be writing this book for you?
Oh, man. Darren Hardy would be a great person to write that book.
There you go. We're just going to have to hit him up for it, right?
A lot of wisdom, but a really good infusion of humor.
There you go. Yahoo. And all right, the most important part of that, and I kind of see where you're going with it. I don't know whether I'm going to get the jackass or the humor in this next one, but what would be the quote that Darren would say you lived your life by?
So this is funny. So I actually got this. There's a quote that I stole it from my wife, and who knows where she got it, but it's always made me laugh. But it's the road to hell was paved with good intentions. And so whether I'm on track or off track, like that describes me to a T. So I try to make sure that I'm very religious about focusing on what I need to for the week. I'll get it on my calendar, and that becomes non-negotiable time on my calendar.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm traveling down that road to hell. I'm like, well, I meant to do it.
Yeah, right. Oh, sorry, but.
And so if I'm not overly intentional, I'll hustle, but I won't get anywhere.
Uh-huh.
And that hamster wheel is not a whole lot of fun.
No.
And so that's one of the, as we go through life, you learn things about yourself. And that's, I'd forever work hard, but I'm always going to work hard, but let's work smart in the process.
Yes. Same here. I can definitely get on that track, get on that hamster wheel and just do stuff all day long. I've been doing stuff, but it doesn't mean it's going to get me somewhere.
Yeah. You've heard like the whole work smarter, not harder. And I'm like, why can't I do both?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. We will do both. Yeah. That's another quote that I heard a couple of years ago. What was it? I think it was on Facebook, something like, forget being ending up my life in a perfectly preserved, wonderfully healthy body. Forget that. I am going to slide into that grave, chocolate in one hand, wine in the other, saying, damn, that was a hell of a ride.
Yeah, there you go. Huh.
That's it. That's definitely how I'm going down. So that's why we get along so well.
Perfect.
Well, you know what? This has been a blast. I can't wait to hear more of the wonderful humor coming out, and as we keep going down this road, because I definitely want to keep you in my world and continue going down this chatbot life and helping each other out every step of the way. Really, Mike, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. It's been a pleasure to know you for even the short time that we have, and I can't wait to see what's coming next.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that I'll be meeting you in September.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
Absolutely. Awesome. How
Awesome.
could we not?
I know. Have to be there.
Everybody, yes. If you're not going to be at the Conversations Conference 2019, something is wrong with you, okay? Exactly. I'm telling you, you need to get therapy because you need to be there.
I will be there.
Yay.
Thanks for listening to the My Chatbot Life podcast. To watch this video chat, visit mychatbotlife.com and get all the rocket boosters you need for your own chatbot success.